The topic for the letter P is professionalism. This will be a brief introduction to professionalism, both as it relates to your academic career, but also your work career. Be sure that when the lecture is over, you take a little time to go look at the different websites that are presented within this presentation. You won't be able to click on the tab directly because it's a video, obviously, but I provided the links for you under the Professionalism Lecture tab in eCollege, so be sure to take a look around at those websites. In my opinion, part of professionalism is going the extra step above and beyond what is expected or required. So, for example, in your academic life, doing the bare minimum in terms of assignments and things like that obviously will not earn you an A. So what you really want to do in terms of grades is go above and beyond that minimum of what is expected or required so that it's reflected in your GPA. But I think almost as importantly, or even maybe more importantly, is going beyond the extra step professionally with both your peers and your professors and other people that you come into contact with on campus. For example, if you're walking across campus and there's some trash on the ground, or there's someone who maybe needs some help, maybe they dropped their books, or they're walking across campus and they don't have an umbrella. In my opinion, being professional is picking up that piece of trash, or helping someone with their books, or holding a door open for someone. Just being courteous is part of being professional. At your job, if you have a job maybe that involves answering questions, people call you in your office and have a question for you. A lot of times you may get questions that you don't know the answer to, or maybe you're not even the right person for them to contact. A lack of professionalism would just be saying, well, I don't know the answer to your question. That's not my job. Please figure out who to call. A much better, more professional response would be to either provide the person with the right contact information nicely, or to even find out the information for them if that would be an efficient route. But definitely to not just cut them off and say, I don't know, but to be helpful to them and get them in touch with the right information, or provide that information for them, or the source of that information. One other area that I think deserves a special mention is the use of professional language, not only in your job, but also with your friends in class. I think it's really important to be able to speak professionally, and I don't mean speaking formally all the time. It's hard to speak formally all the time and never have any grammatical errors or any filler words like or like. Obviously, I still do that as well. What I really mean is the words that you choose to use. Slang is not necessarily a bad thing, but there's a place for it where it is appropriate, and then there's a place for it where it's really not appropriate, and it makes you appear to be very unprofessional. Really, the big one in terms of language, in my opinion, is swearing, or using terminology that is racist or sexist or ageist or discriminatory, just inappropriate language, whether that's the actual words themselves or the topic that you're discussing. People are around you and you never know really who's listening. You may be in the grocery store with your friend and just joking around and using really inappropriate language, and on the aisle right around the corner might be the principal at a school where you're hoping to student teach. And when they see you come in, they might remember. So just always being professional in your speech, I think, is really, really important. And sometimes it's something you overlook. Whether you're a college student or not, it's easy to not be professional in your language. In terms of being professional in your job, I think it's really important to get involved in professional organizations. So here I've listed just 6 for you. I'll briefly tell you what they are, but then I also want you to go visit each of these websites. The first is Shape America. It used to be known as AFERD. It is the body, AFERD stands for American Alliance for Health, Physical Education, Recreation, and Dance. Shape America, SHAPE stands for the Society of Health and Physical Educators. So this is the national organization. It's very, very large, that gets together people who are most interested in the teaching of health and physical education. It also has divisions related to research, to recreation, different things that are related to health and physical education as well. Within the state of Texas, we have our own organization, TAFERD, which stands for the Texas Association for Health, Physical Education, and Recreation and Dance. Texas has one of the largest state organizations, and this is obviously because of the size of our state and the population. There is an annual conference every year in December that draws about 3,000 people, and a summer conference every summer that draws about 1,000 people. These range from elementary PE teachers and health teachers, secondary health and PE teachers, college professors, people involved in the recreation industry. There are usually between 1 and 200 vendors who are there showing you their new products, new publications, and it's a really educational, great conference if you are in any way involved in the teaching of health, physical education, or related topics, recreation, and dance. NERSA is the organization that most of your intramural sport employees are going to attend. And it is great if you want to be involved in a campus recreation center and you want to be in charge of sport clubs, outdoor adventure trips or clubs. That usually falls under campus recreation, or the refereeing or the management of intramurals on a college campus. ACSM, we've talked about before, it's the American College of Sports Medicine. It is very medically related in terms of our field. Team doctors, team physicians, and people who work as personal trainers, but as exercise physiologists, are many times certified by ACSM. It's viewed as one of the best organizations in terms of certifications for people working with individuals trying to improve their health or their physical fitness. They also have many state chapters, and they have lots of workshops and conferences every year. If you're interested in sport management, NASSM is the large sport management society, and they are related obviously to the topic of sport management. So if you are a sport management major, you are more interested probably in things like the business side of sports, whether that's ticketing, sales, promotion, management, working within the fitness industry from the business side of it. And then the last one here is NRPA, or the National Recreation and Parks Association. So this is again more on the recreation side, related to park and recreation departments, citywide, countywide, statewide, and even on the national side. So looking more at outdoor type activities and things that are run related to recreation and parks specifically. Something else that is, I believe, very important, even when you're a college student, is contributing to your community using the talents and the gifts that you have, the abilities that you have. So while you're a college student, you may think, well, I don't have any money to contribute to my community. Well, money isn't always the thing that you're going to contribute to your community. You're going to contribute through volunteering at a school or a rec center, or tutoring kids, or working with elderly people. There are lots and lots of ways to use your expertise and your abilities and your talents to contribute to your community. That obviously benefits the community, but it also benefits you both on a personal level and a professional level as you're making those connections with other individuals and gaining experience.